we're not saying, you guys, that all of your pain is thought into your body or told into your body. Like, obviously, real accidents, injuries have happened, but you have to just be mindful of how you're talking about yourself because your body is listening.
Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Lesley Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started.
Welcome back to the Be It Till You See It interview recap where my co-host in life, Brad, and I are going to dig into the rehabilitating convo I had with Dr. Andrew Fix in our last episode. If you haven't yet listened to that interview, you can listen to it after you listen to this one, because we're going to tell you some really fun stuff. And then you can go listen to that one and you can learn some really fun stuff. So today is October 17th, 2024, and it is National Spirit Day. Let's talk about this day, you guys. I really liked this one. There's actually, if you look at today.com or whatever, nationaltoday.com, there's a bunch of them we could have chosen. But this one I like because Spirit Day is an annual observance that takes place on the third Thursday in October. October 17th this year. This day aims to create awareness for the bullying and harassment that the LGBTQ community faces. Millions of people worldwide identify as queer, and many more are yet to publicly declare their status. Such a large community of people shouldn't be alienated or marginalized because of their sexual orientation, but the reality, sadly, is that they are. All over the world, LGBTQ youth suffer harassment because of their identity. There is a need for transgender individuals to have more protected rights. Hear, hear. So that's what today is, getting the awareness out. And so, yeah, it's National Spirit Day.
Yeah, unfortunately, this has been politicized.
Oh, God.
Because it shouldn't be. It's just about human rights and people being people and us leaving people alone.
I know. And
So it
also,
frustrates
like,
me that
the
it's turned
amount
into
of people
politics.
who think that, like, children are just going to school and then coming out as trans. I would, like, ask people, if you are really struggling, if you think that all these people are just now, like, it's just this preponderance of people as trans, I would want you to, like, just do a little analysis on that. And also, I think it's really cool that we live in a world where in some place it is safe for people to explore who they are and share that. But we also live in a world where it is really unsafe. And it shouldn't even be political. Your sexual orientation should never be politicized. That's like a brilliant. Anyways, I'm getting frustrated. I'm sad for those people. So anyways, if you live in a place where you can vote for people who support people's rights, I would highly recommend you do that. So go do that. And currently we are on vacation. So while we're on vacation from our amazing retreat, if you want to come on that amazing retreat, this is kind of like the last hurrah. Well, that's apparently not. We actually had someone sign up for our sold out retreat 3 weeks before we left because my mom wanted to bring her friend. And so we moved mountains.
I was going to say, we did make an exception. That wasn't the plan.
But you can. Apparently, just so you know, you can be one of those people who waits the last minute. I wouldn't recommend it. So I would snag your spot now at crowsandnestretreats.com to join us in February.
Yeah, we're going to be going back to Cambodia, to our favorite place in the world, Siem Reap, where we get a chance to take you to our house. We have a 12-bedroom apartment complex there. You come stay at our place, practice Pilates during the week. Then we go on temple tours. Then we have some amazing food. We meet some incredible people. We explore the countryside. We explore the city. It is just an amazing experience to see another place in a group where you kind of get a little bit of adventure, but you still feel like you're safe and with a group and everything like that. When Lesley and I first landed in Cambodia, we got off the plane at like 10 o'clock at night. It was super, super dark. And I was getting sick. I was like I had caught something where I was like having a runny nose and I wasn't feeling great. And I was so excited to go, but I was also not feeling well. And Lesley looks around, smells the charcoal in the air because people were cooking dinner. And she says, "My soul is home." And I was like, how do you know your damn soul is home? You haven't seen anything yet.
It's dark and it's crazy and it's chaos. And I was like, it is. We're going to live here. And we had seen nothing or eaten nothing. So that was really brave of me, but we really loved it. And so you get to come to our house.
Yeah,
and stay
you
with
should
us.
come with us and hang out. Go to crowsnestretreats.com, crowsnestretreats.com. Next up.
Then after I come back, I go and I'm going to stay in LA to get ready for the accessories deck shoot. So that is the 6th deck in the series.
Flashcards.
For the flashcards.
When she's talking about deck here.
You're not reading my mind, everyone? You're not you're not picturing what I'm thinking about. Also, because I just got to finally announce that the matte deck 2.0 has shipped. When you're listening to this, it has shipped over a month ago. So there's that. Woo. Anyways, we're wrapping up this whole project and this product. And so we're doing the photo shoot, and only those on the wait list will get the pre-sale opportunity. When is that going to be? I can't tell you in this moment, but it's probably somewhere around Q2. So you'll want to go to opc.me/flashcard waitlist. opc.me/flashcard waitlist. All right, Brad, tell them about what's next for you.
All right. So I've been hosting a webinar called the Pilates Studio Growth Accelerator. So if you are a fitness business owner out there and you're bringing people to your home for a home studio, or maybe you rent a small boutique space, or maybe you have a team, this webinar is for you. Okay. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about how do you double your income over the next 12 months, right? That's a crazy thing to even think about. But ultimately, we all know that money is involved in our, running our own business here, and we work our asses off and we barely are making ends meet. And it's time for us to actually make the profit that we need so that we can actually take a deep breath and enjoy what we're doing, because I know how stressful it is to barely be keeping our heads above water. We did it for many, many years until we got coaching. And then when we got coaching, everything changed dramatically. And so this webinar is going to share with you 3 big secrets that Lesley and I have determined after we have coached now more than 2,000 clients of our own businesses, just like yours, small businesses, people just getting started, all the way up to people with $1 million studios. And we just had a lot of experience doing it. And we want to share that experience with you. So come join me for free, profit.biz/accelerator. That's profit without the o.biz/accelerator. And come join me. Yeah.
Yeah. And then come hang out with us IRL. Oh my gosh, we're going to have the biggest tour ever, our winter tour. At this moment, it's possible we've even announced the dates, because I don't know. We're trying to do it in October. That's our goal.
Yeah.
So
dates should definitely be available. So yeah, we're going on tour, y'all. We're leaving in December the 6th, and we'll be coming back more than a month later. We're going to be doing over 8,000 miles drive around the country. We're going to basically stick to Route 40 as we go across the South till we hit North Carolina. Then we're going to go all the way up to Maine, then all the way down the East Coast to Miami. And then we're going to come back through Texas, and we're going to hit Phoenix on the way home. So if any of that sounds like you're remotely close or going to be close or going to be near family that's close, go to opc.me/tour. We'd love to meet you in person and hang out and do Pilates and, just kick it. It is an incredible opportunity. You get to meet our pups. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, I'm really excited for all the places that we're going, the studios we're finally going to see. I mean, it's just going to be wonderful. So thank you all who always come down on our tour. Oh my gosh. One of the, how we were in Korea.
Yeah.
We were talking with someone who was like, I was supposed to do a workshop in Korea. Well, that someone lived in Canada. Well, that someone now lives in the DC area. And
Perfect.
I was like, we're going to see you. She's like, oh my God, we're finally going to meet. 3 countries later.
Here we are.
We're doing it. We're doing it.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well,
PC.me/tour.
Go get your tickets, because believe it or not, winter tours sell out really fast because people make plans early. So
they do.
There you go. Before we get into Andrew's amazing notes for all of us, let's talk about the audience question.
Yeah. Joan Pilates on Instagram asks, hey, Lesley, I hear that you are good in teaching headstand on the reformer. Do you teach via Zoom?
I know. We posted my headstand. And now I do headstand by myself without you.
I know. I'm impressed.
I know. And actually everyone is too. So I know.
Wait, everyone is impressed or everyone is doing headstand?
No, they're impressed.
Oh, okay. Not that they were doing headstand.
Someone else did it. Someone else tagged me in their headstand journey. And so am I good at teaching headstand? I am really good at teaching people connections that they need. So if headstand is the goal, great. But also if you're going, what is headstand and Pilates? Like, I really am so grateful that Jay Grimes and all the teachers that he taught who have been in my life have helped me understand how to build someone up to an exercise versus take an exercise down to a client.
Yeah, sure.
And so that's what I teach people in Elevate, which is my mentorship program. So that's really where I can help you with the headstand, because one session, I could probably give you some homework. But if you're not ready for headstand, we're not doing headstand. I'm not going to bring an exercise down to you. I'm going to bring you up to an exercise. So
Right.
I would need to see you move and then go, are you even ready for this? This is an exercise that's right for you. Because it's also okay for exercise not to be right for you, you guys. Like, it's really okay for you to go, that exercise is not right for you. Like tendon stretch on the reformer. If you've got tight hamstrings, we're not doing that today. We got to work on opening those hamstrings up and finding more strength. And
That
more
like takes like a
connections.
week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 1,000 weeks, you know? So, so am I good at it? And do I teach on Zoom? I teach Elevate via Zoom, and you can come in person. Do I teach private clients on Zoom? It's rare that someone outside of my Elevate group gets a Zoom call. That doesn't mean you won't. Doesn't mean you won't. But I'm just telling you, like, I don't got a lot of hours in the day to teach people, but my elevators always get an opportunity to work with me either privately or in a group. 2025 Elevate is sold out. So
It is. I know. That's insane.
So you can get on the wait list or you can grab 2026. All that being said, I also do have a workshop called Bottoms Up. And while I don't break down headstand in that workshop on OPC, it absolutely will help you with the idea of how to break down this exercise. And I do have the headstand tutorials up on YouTube. It's free. And
We
it's
also
also
have
the flashcards
breaking down advanced exercises
guide, which is free. Mhm.
Yeah. So we'll put the links to all three of those in the show notes.
Yeah. But Joanne, if you and a bunch of people want to explore this, obviously I don't want you to wait till 2026. Let's talk. But also, please ask yourself, everyone, before you're like, oh my God, look at that party trick. You got to ready yourself for that party trick. So you got to be obsessed with the foundations of Pilates. If you really think you're advanced, then a beginner class should feel hard because you are actually bringing all of your body to those beginner exercises. Because I actually would say that there is no such thing as a beginner exercise. There are exercises that beginners can do. So,
I mean, there's also variations on the headstand. So some of them are really intense.
yes, today,
facing up.
Today I incorporated.
straps.
I did the facing up today. I took it out of my practice for about 6 months,
Nice.
and I showed it to my teacher, and he's like, "Do this," and I did what he said, and it was fucking 10 times better.
Wow.
It all was like focusing my eyes. It was insane. But when I took it out 6 months ago, I was doing things to build it back up into my practice. I got to build myself up to it. So yes,
Love it.
some exercises I don't do because I'm not ready for them yet, or like my body is on a pause on that, you know? So it's okay for that. All right, let's talk about Andrew Fix.
All right. Now let's talk about Dr. Andrew Fix. Dr. Fix is a doctor of physical therapy and an expert in running and lifting related injuries. He helps run a performance-based physical therapy practice that focuses on helping clients recover from pain and get back to the activities they love through his method, his process of the 3 R's: reset, restore, and reload. Andrew also co-hosts The Code, a guide to health and human performance podcast where he discusses optimizing health through sleep, nutrition, and movement. Yeah, really cool. It's exciting that he took a chance, moved across the country, and opened his own business. We're all about that.
Yeah, I know. I just think that's a big deal. It's not easy. You know, one of the things I think about is like people are like, oh, I can't do that here. And I'm like, why are you there? When people fight us on the limitations of doing their business where they are, I'm just kind of like, but why are you there then? Like, are you married to that place? Because you can rent your home out now. It's so much easier to relocate than it ever once was. And people need Pilates everywhere. So I'm just saying, if you're frustrated where you are, you could be like Andrew, you just move. So one of the things I really like we talked about is the mind is such a powerful tool. So he said, if you keep telling yourself, I'm the person with the bad back, or I'm this, you are actually reinforcing it. And this is so true because you guys, when I study mindset, the thing about your mind is it actually is listening to you.
Yeah.
And you really don't want your mind to go on its own thing. That would be really bad. That would be like,
What do you mean
like,
on its own thing? I don't
yeah,
know what
like,
you mean.
so like if you tell yourself, I have a bad back, you don't want your mind to go, let me show you how good your back is. You don't want your mind to go rogue on you because then like you, the person, are not in control. You're actually in control of your mind. You're in control of the thoughts you have. I would hate for me to go, I'm the most amazing person in the world. And my mind goes, here's 17 reasons you're not. You don't want that as your mind. That's not what you want.
But I'm so confused.
Why? How are you confused?
You're saying the opposite of
No. So
the
he
thing.
said, the mind is a powerful tool. If you tell yourself, I have a bad back, it reinforces it. And I'm saying it's so true. When I study mindset, there's literal science that shows that your brain does not go rogue on you. If you say, I have a bad back, it doesn't say, let me show you how amazing your back is.
Okay. All right. You don't want it to be the opposite of what you're thinking it is.
Right.
Okay. That's why I completely lost the
because that would not be great. If your mind went rogue and did its own thing, you would want to go left and your mind's going, we're going right. Like that would be a waste of time. You'd be in an argument with yourself all of the time.
Right. Okay.
So we reinforce it. Also, I just studied, shout out to Mariska Breland. I just studied her whole Mariska Breland. Mariska, maybe it's Mariska Breland. Maybe I'm saying Mariska because of Law and Order and her name's Mariska. Anyways, she's amazing. She's lovely. I've met her many times. She's a great teacher, but I was watching her workshop on fear in movement. It's called kinesiophobia. It's an actual thing of people who are afraid to move. And the thing is if you're like, oh my God, it hurts when I do that, then you don't do it. So then when you go to do it, it hurts when you do it because you haven't been doing it. And so we just reinforce ourselves. And so he said, you are always going to have a bad back because that's what you keep telling yourself. And also because you tell yourself that, then you don't do the things that would actually help your back out because you're like, I have a bad back. And so you're not strengthening your core. You're not challenging things. You are just kind of staying in that thing. And he said to change the narrative. So like, I used to have pain, but I'm doing things to improve it so I can do X, Y, and Z in the future. There's and because I just watched this workshop, there is a lot of science in the power of positivity and reframing. Like I'm not able to do this today. For example, Joanna, the headstand. She can't, if she walked around and said, I can't do a headstand, she'll never do a headstand. But if she says, I'm not able to do a headstand yet, and I'm working on doing X, Y, and Z, she is preparing her mind for being able to do a headstand. She's telling her mind, it's going to be a thing we're going to have. We're going to get there. And because it's so positive and because she's actually proclaiming that these things are there, you're allowing space for your body to feel safe in the practice of getting the thing.
Yeah, I can totally relate to this too, because when I was younger, my mom told me, oh, we have very limber bodies. And because we have very, very limber bodies, we just always have back pain. That was her lived experience. She was in a car accident when she was a kid and for 20 plus years had really, really challenging back problems. And she was always like the athlete, but was the skinny kid athlete, right? She could be blown over. And the same thing for me when I got in the soccer field, when I got in high school, I was muscled off the ball all the time because I was too skinny. And I was like, I guess this is just how I'm always going to be. And then when I moved to Los Angeles, I slept on the floor because I didn't have the money to buy a $5,000 mattress. So I figured it would be better for my body if I slept on a hard surface. So I slept on the floor. And I told myself that for years. I slept on the floor for 4 years. And that's because I was like, the floor is better than any shitty bed I'm going to be able to afford. So I'm just going to sleep on the floor. Now, I probably could have slept on a futon, but I didn't. I think it was also a little bit of pride in there because it's quite a story to tell. But the story I told myself was like, I'm always going to be weak. I'm always going to have this back pain. It didn't even change when I started doing yoga until it changed. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, I don't hurt anymore. This is crazy, right? It wasn't like my mindset changed. It was like my physical, I wanted to do something so much that my body changed after doing it.
Yes.
And then I was like, oh, I don't have to be in pain every day.
Yeah.
I'm not in pain right now. This is crazy.
Yeah. And that's because that desire to want something helps people get around the limitations that they have. And by the way,
well, I think you could do it opposite the way I did. I fell in love with the idea of doing yoga before I realized that would help my back.
Yeah, you totally can. And I think we're not saying, you guys, that all of your pain is thought into your body or told into your body. Like obviously, like real accidents, injuries have happened, but you have to just be mindful of how you're talking about yourself because your body is listening.
Yeah. Yeah, it totally is.
All right. What'd you love?
All right. So what I really found intriguing, in fact, because this is not the way that I've always thought about it, is he basically was saying when it comes to surgery and making decisions that seem like they're going to change everything, which surgery certainly can change everything in a good or a bad way. Often people are told, hey, you can build muscle around this instead of having a surgery because you don't want to, have the surgery now and then hurt it again and then have to have another one later or whatever. And he said he kind of focuses on the quality of life. If the injury that you're having is preventing you from doing the activity that you enjoyed, then he would rather have the surgery twice than wait. preferred addressing the issue when it impacts his ability to do the activity he enjoyed. For my sister, she was a semi-pro soccer player. She was like on the path and like trying to go do that professionally. And she had an ACL tear. That one was pretty clear. She literally couldn't walk properly if she didn't have the surgery. And so, she had the surgery. And then from there, she went back and did a long amount of rehab and then started playing soccer again until another one down the road did happen. And that she decided, okay, we're done doing this. But the reality is she probably could have limped around for a long time before having the surgery later on, whenever that is or whatever. But she wouldn't have been able to go back and continue playing at all or coaching or doing any of the things that bring her joy. I think another example would be like Lori on the OPC platform. She was in a car accident and had to have her spine fused. And that's a scary thing. Like having your vertebrae fused can become a very limiting problem.
Yeah.
But had she not, she would have been living in incredible amount of pain. And what she's been able to persevere despite having a fusion has led to an amazing life.
Right. And I just think I really like this because it's like, how long have you been like dealing with it? Dealing with insert the issue with your body, ache and pain, some sort of limitation. And is it keeping you from saying yes to things that you want to say yes to? Are you not putting things on your vision board? Are you not going on a trip? Are you on the trip and everyone goes up and you just stay there? If that's you, then it may be worth looking at the support that can help you. Now, you might be like Lesley and Brad and Dr. Andrew, like if I get the surgery, then I can't actually do these things because it will fuse me or it will do this. Then guess what? He said quality of life. And if it's going to affect quality of life, then you don't do the surgery. You can actually take his advice and use it both ways.
Yeah, I was thinking about your dad too, because he's 72 and his knees aren't exciting. And
I know him not wanting to get an MRI because he doesn't want to know what it is.
He doesn't even want to know what the problem is because, and that is a bummer to me because if he was going to have the surgery, especially where he's at in his stage of life, I would argue the sooner the better because he's going to recover better now. Imagine if he has to wait 5 years.
Even if I told him we don't have to do surgery. We could just find out what's going on and then we can know what muscles to strengthen. These are two different arguments, but yeah, I agree. I mean, I couldn't agree more. Ideally, we could have
information than not.
You just need information. You have to go get the information. You can't be scared of the information. I get it. I don't know why all of us are like, I want to go. I don't want to know because I might be dying.
You're still going to die.
You're still going to die. And wouldn't you like to know? Because then maybe you go to fucking Fiji. I don't know.
Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I think he kind of summed it up saying sometimes we push past this tipping point where our quality of life really deteriorates because of the pain. And it probably would have been better to just get the surgery like 5 years before.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
It's a very interesting perspective. I don't think that that's the perspective of everybody, of all physios, because sometimes surgery can have negative effects, but
I was
also
having problems with my wrists and the doctors did not want me to have surgery. And I said, but I'm limited. I'm 21 years old and I have pain flare-ups and I'm limited in using my arm, which is affecting my core because it's actually making me have a functional scoliosis that I don't have. I was like, it is limiting me. If I have this surgery, will the pain go away? And like, we think so. I'm like, then I would like to do it. So I don't care that only every other week for one day I can't use my arm. No, I want to have my arm every day of the week.
Yeah.
And so I fought with them and they said, well, want to do one more test. And when they did that one more test, guess what? They're like, oh, you need surgery. And I'm like, so think about your quality of life and how you want to live it and then advocate for yourself in that way. Yeah. Either way that it is.
Dig it. All right, stick around. We'll be right back. We're going to cover those Be It action items from Dr. Andrew Fix. All right, welcome back. So finally, let's talk about those Be It action items. What bold, executable, intrinsic, or targeted action items can we take away from your convo with Dr. Andrew Fix? He said most people think that pain is one of the reasons why they don't sleep well. And he argues it's the exact opposite. He said, research shows our shitty sleep is the reason that we have pain. Because obviously, what I did find interesting is he said, we are meant to sleep approximately 1/3 of our lives.
Yeah.
1/3 of our lives.
I know.
We are meant to sleep.
Brad, did you hear that? Did you hear yourself say it?
I don't even understand what that means. I'm lucky if I'm sleeping 25% of my life. But he said 1/3 of our lives so that we can perform better during the other 2/3. right? So when we don't sleep well, our nervous system does not recover or repair itself. And then we have a pain processing problem where our nervous system doesn't know how to interpret the things that are going on because we have not rested and recovered. So he said, you are more likely to have pain if you're not sleeping well. So that's interesting. So to reduce pain, prioritize getting quality sleep to help your body recover and repair itself.
Yeah.
Who knew?
I love it.
I mean, it's pretty fucking logical.
Yeah. It makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
So he had another beit action item, which was if it's something that's working for you, if something's not serving you, use your mind, plan things out, and also follow your gut. So like, we know we're like, there's something that doesn't feel right. And we kind of just like push through. And he is saying, no, use your mind and then make a plan and stick with following your gut. So a lot of times you will share your plan with people or you'll like, oh, that's not going to work. That didn't work for this person. But if your gut's saying, I think I need to do this, I think you should, like he's saying, follow that. That's part of your beit action item. And what's super cool is, well, actually, we've talked about Lori already. So Lori was having a hip thing and her doctors were saying like, oh, it's coming from this nerve in your back. And she's like, no, I don't think so. And so she was doing PT and she's like, it's like making things worse. So it's not working for her. It's not serving her. And so she kind of did some research, she figured out, and she went in with a plan. She's going with her gut. She's like, this isn't working. Here's where that nerve runs. And here's where that should cause pain. I'm having it here. So it's gotta be something different. And so they made another plan for her. And so I think that's really, really cool. So she already did this beit action item, everyone. So, go Lori. But I think it's just really, I really like this. Too often we kind of just push through, even though we have something like niggling inside going, don't do it.
Yeah, my mom had a crazy situation when she was a child. She was a teen, I think. Her finger got smashed in a garage door.
Oh.
Like completely flattened.
Oh.
And yeah, like terrifying. And she gets rushed to the ER basically alone. And the doctor came in and said, here's what we're going to do. We're going and she looked at him and she was like, we're not going to do that. I don't know whatever you just said, but I don't agree. And she's like 15 or whatever. I don't know. Yeah. She was a teen. She's like arguing with the doctor, like, don't touch me. Right. And then her parents got there and they had a conversation. She talked about the whole thing with them and they ended up doing something else. But she was like, no, I don't even remember what it was. Like, we're going to amputate. She's like, hell no. Like, I don't think that's what the problem is. But whatever it was, she said, I don't think so. In fact, also too, we just had another conversation just yesterday with a friend of ours. She has been going to a chiropractor for a long time and her chiropractor was not available during her session for whatever reason. And one of the other chiropractors came in and she said, I'm so sorry. I don't feel comfortable working with you. I'm sorry. So she didn't want to be adjusted by someone else. And that's okay. That's okay to feel that, understand that, and be like, no.
Yeah.
So
I also think we have to that needs to be normalized. And if you are struggling to advocate for yourself in the medical world, then please listen to Lindsay Moore's episode. Listen to the one with Jessica Volant. You are not rude. You are not an asshole. You're not a bitch. You're not any of these things. If you are like, I just don't really like this situation. Like, I'm not liking this situation. Yeah. You don't even have to have a good excuse. Like, if your gut's just like, this is not right. I don't want to do this. It's totally okay to say, you know what? Actually, I'm going to skip. Pause. I'm going to skip this. And I know it's frustrating. I know there's co-pays, but like, honestly, you'll be in the grand scheme of things. You might not know what you just saved yourself from, and that's okay. We don't need to. Like your gut instinct is really important. And you can fine tune things along the way is what he said. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out when you get to do these things.
Yeah. And we just gave a whole bunch of examples of how trusting your gut to say no, but there's also the other way around where you're like, I know this is the right thing and I can keep going. So we have this really weird innate ability to be in tune. Our body is like telling us, but we actually have to tune into that. Our mind has to pay attention to that. So pay attention. It's important.
I'm Lesley Logan.
And I'm Brad Crowell.
Thank you so much for listening. Please leave us a review. I had someone ask once I can figure out how to leave a review. So here's the deal. Spotify makes it a little easier. You might just have to search, how do I leave a review on whatever platform you listen to this on. But if you're on Apple, they make it fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
you got to go to the show.
You do the actual show.
And then you have to scroll down.
And then you scroll down.
It'll show you like the most recent 6 episodes or something. And then beneath that, you'll see
some stars that you can like tap.
Yeah, that's where you can do the review.
And then you'll see write a review.
That's what we need. Write a review.
And then write a review.
Yeah.
And that would be great. All right. Until next time, be it till you see it.
Bye for now.
That's all I got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Be It Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day.
Be It Till You See It is a production of the Bloom Podcast Network. If you want to leave us a message or a question that we might read on another episode, you can text us at +1 310 905 5534 or send a DM on Instagram at BeItPod.
It's written, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Crowell.
It is transcribed, produced, and edited by the Epic team at Diseño.co.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Cioffi.
Special thanks to Melissa Solomon for creating our visuals.
Also to Angelina Herrico for adding all of our content to our website. And finally, to Meredith Root for keeping us all on point and on time.